Look, first of all, just tell us what the atmosphere is like around the place at the moment. In the top 6, run of 3 wins must be pretty good.
Yeah, very good. Obviously, great week for us last week. 3 big wins, 9 points. I don't think many people would give us sort of that outcome after them 3 games, because they were tough games. But I think, a real boost of confidence. I think also along with that, we'll have 4 players back from who weren't available last Saturday, so that just makes us even stronger, and it shows how strong the squad is and how much competition there is. And that bodes well for the sort of last 12 games of the season.
Have those 3 wins kind of, I won't say given extra belief to the team, but it's kind of put you in there now, so there's got to be a little bit of you thinking, right, well, we're in the playoffs now, we've been trying to get there for ages, but now we're there now. Yeah,
definitely. I think just moving out of 10th was a bit of a relief, really. But I think he's got to give us self-belief, he's got to give us confidence, because kind of all them 3 teams we beat last week have been up there and around it all season. So we've got to gain confidence from that. Got to gain confidence from the fact we've got 4 players coming back who arguably, you'd say all 4 would fancy themselves to be starting games and have started a lot of games this season. So the squad looks really strong. I think if anything, we need to guard against a little bit of complacency, because we'll go into this Walsall game now and it's probably the first game in 3 or 4 where people think, oh yeah, they'll go and win that, just because of where we are in the league, our recent form, and obviously Walsall are just below mid-table. But we need to make sure we're at our game, we're on it like we have been last week, and go into it confident but not overconfident.
Because it is those teams that are in mid-table and the ones lower down that you've not always picked up results again this season, and I suppose that ties in with what you're saying about complacency. It's a game you're expected to win.
Yeah, of course, and I think they're always dangerous games. So I think for us it'll be just as much a mental battle as it will physical. They're on a decent little run themselves. I think they beat Forest Green, they beat Northampton last week after being 2-0 down, so it just shows they're capable of beating some good teams. So we'll have to be really at it to get 3 points.
What's different about when you play the teams in the top 6 or the top 7 and the teams below you? Is that, there's got to be a reason why you haven't picked up the same type of results. Is there anything you can put your finger on?
I'm not sure. Possibly the way they play. Maybe we're a little bit better when we're kind of counter-attacking teams, and maybe teams underestimate us a little bit when we play them. The teams who are up there and fancy themselves for promotion. It's a tough one to say, really. I don't. Maybe when we're dominating possession, like I've said, maybe we're a bit more of a counter-attacking team and we can soak up a little bit of pressure, and then, with the pace we've got out wide and in terms of full-backs and wingers, we can catch teams out. But I think if you even look at the Colchester game last week, it was a pretty complete performance, really, in terms of dominated a lot of possession, played good football and scored goals and created chances.
Goals are coming from midfield as well as you. You've got one, I know that. But it must be nice to know that in years gone by you've relied on Tom Pope, you've relied on certain players, but now pretty much anybody in the squad is capable of getting a goal.
No, definitely. We've got a lot of attacking players. We've got obviously Tom Collins scoring last week. Scott Burgess has chipped in with a couple of goals. We've got Reece Brown, Dave Worrell, Dave Amu, Monty, people who can supply goals, and we've got Cole's come in last week and scored two great finishes. So, like you say, we've got a lot of attacking threat in the team. It's not just, like you say, Tom Pope scoring the goals. There's been a mixed bag of scorers, and hopefully that'll continue. And I think if you just look at the lads who probably aren't in the starting 11 at the minute as well, we've got goals there. So, I think things are looking really bright, and like I've said, we are looking really strong.
There's a stat that came up about the most accurate passes. I think, is it in the team or big yourself up? Is it not in the league? I don't know. But I noticed you said, not that many of them going backwards. I mean, are you a little bit conscious of that?
I've had that kind of label all throughout my career. I think maybe if I'd been a little bit more on the front foot and been a bit sort of more aggressive in my passing and a bit more forward thinking, then I might have played a little bit higher. But for whatever reason, it's not necessarily been that case. But they're nice to get them stats, and you don't really sort of pay much attention to it through the season. But when someone spends a bit of time and puts them together, then it is nice to see it, and hopefully that'll continue from now to the end of the season. I
suppose if nothing else, it shows you are doing your job, aren't you? You've got to pass the ball. In your role, you've got to be able to find players and set up attacks.
Yeah, that's kind of my job. That's my role, to disrupt the opposition, find myself in positions to get on the ball and and give it to the more dangerous players who can create things. And I'm not ashamed of that. That's my job role. I enjoy it, and hopefully it plays a big part in the team.
Just talk to us a bit about the crowd, 2,500 of them or so at Walsall tomorrow. That must be great when you're out there on the pitch like last Saturday as well, and you can hear them and you know they're behind you.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's brilliant. You can't ask any more as a player. I think when you grow up, you always want to play in front of them atmospheres and have the fans right behind you and cheering you on and singing songs. And last Saturday was brilliant against Colchester. It was nice to go 2-0 up, 3-0 up. I think as players you can relax a little bit, you can enjoy it. I think the fans enjoyed it. And just to see the ticket sales for the game tomorrow is unbelievable. So there'll be more there than what there was at Crewe, and we all know how good that day was and how good our atmosphere that was. So we just want to go out there, put a show on, and the main thing is just go and win the game and make it a worthwhile trip for all the fans.
I was going to say, because the more you win, the more fans start turning up, don't they? So it's kind of a loop, really, isn't it? That you've got a responsibility to keep going.
Yeah, of course, and it all works hand in hand. If we're doing well, winning games, the fans will come, and it's good for the club. It brings in revenue, makes the atmosphere better, makes it more sort of enjoyable for us, gives us that maybe extra 2% with that support behind us. And if we can keep that going, keep the good run going, keep our position in the league, if not getting a little bit higher, then it's just going to be good for everybody, and it's going to be a great place to play and a great place to come and watch football.
Just one last thing, the manager's mentioned automatic promotion in the last week. In the dressing room, the players fully behind that. You've got that in your sights?
We don't really talk about it. We don't sit in there and think, well, what we're going to do. Obviously we want to win every game, and if we win every game, then we'll get there. We want to go and win tomorrow. That's the most important game, and we'll keep going. And if we get in the top 3, then obviously brilliant. If not, then we'll see where we finish. But we just obviously focus on the old cliche, focus on the next game, and that's the most important one, which it is. But if we keep playing the way we're playing, with the squad we've got, with the players we've got coming back into the fold, then it should be a really exciting finish to the season.